We're live.
Hey, this is Conrad Thompson, and welcome to Best in the World with CM Punk. No, I'm just kidding. It is time to get raw. It is time to get down. It is time for the Rawdown, the number one source for all things WWE, right here at the Turnbuckle Tavern. I am your host, Young Anthony of the Independent Epicenter, or what am I called now? Psycho Cerulli? Is that my new name?
Psycho Sid Cerulli.
There you go.
Yeah, you're off playing softball. You know, the softball season, pal.
Hey, look, it's America's pastime. I needed to take a break from two assholes, and I figured let me go watch a good old baseball game. They lost, the Mets, but I'm here, and of course I'm joined.
The Mets, great the Mets. Come right over and beat the Mets.
That sounds about right. And I am joined with one of my co-hosts, J-Bone, from coming down the aisle. J-Bone, do you still do improv?
I mean, I'll do a little bit, actually. I mean,
do you do improv with Scott Colton?
No, I don't know who that is. Who's that?
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
but hold on. Let me grab my muffins, though. I got some muffins back here.
Where are the Mindies? Get the Mindies out.
Jesus. Where's my non-alcoholic seltzer?
Yeah, right.
Do a little beer
lime?
Oh, hell yeah.
We'll be getting into all of that later on in the show. Yes, we will be talking about some AEW in just a little bit. But we are waiting on one of our co-hosts. He should be joining us pretty shortly. But until then, we have a brand new start time. Let's address the elephant in the room. Right. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursdays. So a new dynamic for us, but the same assholes giving you our takes on the WWE world. And boy, oh boy, is it an interesting time to be a WWE fan. We thought it was interesting a month ago, but here we are with it can never be normal.
The wrestling world, this is the craziest year of wrestling.
Hands down.
Hands down. Like the news, everything, it's out of this world. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're from, so I don't know. And
it's only September. It just turned September.
Yeah. We still got 3 more months of this horse shit.
Oh man, we're gonna talk about All Out in a few, but we do have to follow the order that we have placed on this show. So let's get right into our first segment, which is all the news that you can find
outside the ropes.
Outside the ropes. And just on time, here he is.
Still in my gimmick, too.
MVP. Thankfully, I can actually use the overlays that I made. Hi, Marco. How are you?
What's going on?
I see you tried to steal my gimmick with the Marco Zuma.
Yeah, did you see it?
No more custom names here, unfortunately. That has been... It was, what did Jericho say? It was a bad gimmick by bad creative.
Oh damn!
I thought it was a good gimmick.
It was a great gimmick actually. It's just
It's just you got to hurry up and go record stuff so you can go deal with your Flex Seal commercials later.
My Flex Seal commercials.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we were about to get into our first segment, but because this guy showed up, we have some business to attend to.
Yes,
so
we do.
Let's get into it.
Now, the Rawdown presents the crowning ceremony for the Rawdown Championship.
The recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Thank you so much, Mindy's, for Mindy's Bakery.
That's Mindy herself right there.
Awesome.
Well, the boyhood dream has come true, and the MVP Marco finally gets his Rawdown championship.
Yes, I
46 episodes.
You know why? Because I had to deal with these. I had to deal with some empty-headed fucks, pretty much. That's why
here we go.
That's why I got the title.
Empty-headed, fucking dumb fucks. Well, you got your title. Make your speech. Go ahead. You got the floor.
I mean, it's been a long time coming. I mean, it was inevitable. I mean, there was a lot of controversy along the way. There was a lot of roadblocks put in my way on purpose. I would say, throwing the ace in there and trying to, throw me off there, throwing in the OG Fig Kid, throwing him in there and trying to, derail me from getting this title. I know what you guys are up to, but you know what? Once it came down to us three, when I made it a triple threat match, that's, the odds weren't against me anymore. I can now finally say I am Raw Down prediction champion.
If you think us throwing Tom into the mix of things was our way of trying to screw you over, you must not know who we are, because
you're very much like CM Punk.
You guys are the Bucks to my CM Punk. That's what you guys are.
We need an ace steal in this bitch.
Don't bite me, bro. Don't bite
me, please. Get Larry out of the way if we're gonna start fighting. Well, congratulations on your championship win. Hold it tight and hold it very tight, because
hold it tight because
the guy next to me has that money in the bank.
Right, I'm holding it. There we go. I know he. You know what? He whatever. If he wants to cash it in, he can do it.
I'll cash it in. Referee.
Watch out for Tyson Fury.
Yeah, watch out for Tyson. Oh boy. Well, let's finally get into this show. We have some interesting topics to discuss tonight, and we'll start things off with a topic that we have talked multiple times about. I feel like Triple H and the word promotion or hiring has just been a recurring theme at this point. So Triple H has once again been promoted to a new position. If he hadn't already had just a slew of positions already. What is this one? It is the Chief Content Officer.
Right.
And based on what it says on the website, Triple H has been elevated to Chief Content Officer. Additionally, the company has promoted Frank A. Riddick III to President and Chief Financial Officer.
I'm glad we were able to tell the difference between the different Franks.
Yeah, Frank Riddick II. He was this close, but the third beat him out.
He was a real chump,
Yeah, he was a real chump on that one. Here it is. Okay, so as Chief Content Officer, Paul Levesque will oversee creative writing, talent relations, live events, talent development, and creative services. The role will report to WWE co-CEO Nick Khan. So Triple H, how is he doing all of this?
Just moving up in the world. This guy.
He just keeps moving up, and he's handling himself pretty well with this new position, clearly. And now he's already taking more on, and we're already seeing that he's presenting himself pretty well. The main topic that I wanted to discuss today was the interview that he did with Ariel Helwani.
So good.
Yep.
Let's get into it. J-Bone, tell me your thoughts on that interview. What were your immediate reactions?
So, usually I'm going to see those, especially when I see those when they pull out the little clip, because he pulled out the little clip about the AEW stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll watch a few minutes of that. But, I found myself just, enthralled with it. I was bought in. I was just, I just watched the whole thing. I normally don't really do that on those big, long interviews for the most part. They kind of trail off to stuff I already know about. I'm just like, eh. But he was just, it was like storytelling, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was so good. For one thing, he brought up, and look, Ariel Helwani, he's a very, very, very respected journalist, especially in the combat sports realm. He's very good at what he does. So shout out to him. But he definitely asked tough questions. There were no softball questions really. He brought up the Vince stuff for the most part. Didn't get into necessarily the allegations, because that's kind of weird. That's his father-in-law, right?
The board is concerned about your extremely questionable decisions as of late.
Yeah, and it was it was good, but he definitely, I love the way he phrased the question. Did he write you a letter, or like a outgoing president would, jokingly of course saying that,
Mm-hmm.
But you've really kind of peeled another layer back of this McMahon, Levesque kind of family life, was very open about his. I think even more so got more in depth about his illness that he had. I mean, just how close he was to dying. Even like after I thought, after the initial diagnosis and they did the surgery, he was good. Really, he kept having to battle stuff up until WrestleMania. Up until he finally was able to announce everything.
Well, there was a plan for him to like do something with Gable Steveson.
That was another thing. That was interesting too. And he was like, he was like, I don't want to do anything, Vince. And then he kind of sat there and thought about it. He goes, if I do something, it's going to be with Gable Steveson. And I thought that was interesting too, and which also made me think, where the hell's he been? Where's Gable? Because he was supposed to have started.
There's reports that apparently his training hasn't been progressing along, or it doesn't seem like he's as committed. So who knows if we'll even see Gable Steveson at this point.
That's a miss there, but it is what it is. But I mean, it was a great interview.
Yeah, and with everything from the talking about the cardiac episode, which I thought was really being open. Like he was talking about all the business stuff, and that's great. But like the fact that he was so open about all of that, I thought that was really telling about the type of person that he is and the type of leader that he's going to be. We always joke around about how Vince is like this mythical figure, like you don't really know about him and you hear all these legends about him. And here's Triple H. He gets on one interview and he already paints out everything that's going on behind the scenes. He talks about some struggles that he had to overcome, and he's talking about where the company is headed in the future. I think that was a fantastic way to really paint a picture of, the type of person that he is going to be in the chief content officer or whatever his position is going forward. And something else that you didn't mention was the end of the interview, which I think was the part that everyone is really talking about, with Ariel bringing up the four names, right? Sasha, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, and The Rock. And of course he beat around the bush a lot, but the fact that he was okay with answering those questions because they are on the minds of everyone, it's just I feel like this was just the way to showcase the type of I keep saying it, but the type of leader that he is. And, and I also just hate, and Marco, I'm going to let you talk in a minute, but I hate the fact that everyone is only bringing up that one comment that he made about AEW, that he's like, yeah, they beat our development, so what? And everyone's up in arms about it, which, to his credit, they did consider NXT to be the third brand when it started going up against AEW, sure, but it is the developmental. Like it always has been, and that's always how it will be looked at.
Picture. He's repainting
he is.
The
that's
picture.
the one flaw that I would say off of that entire interview.
Off of an hour interview.
Yeah, and I mean that was kind of ridiculous. I feel like if you didn't gain respect for him from the hour and 30 minutes outside of that 10-second line, what are you doing? Right. Marco, what are your thoughts on everything?
And, those are the people that are going to get up in arms. Obviously, those are the AEW marks out there. They're not wrestling and nothing against them. They're not gonna, watch that whole interview. They're just gonna wait for that one clip and then they're just gonna run with it. They're not gonna take the time. Not saying that all AEW fans are, not knowledgeable or not intelligent. It's just that they're going to pick and choose what they want to watch and what they want to hear, and they're going to go with it. They're not going to care what Triple H has to say about the business and all that stuff, and as they like to say, go into the weeds. But I did notice something now with this current leadership is something you didn't see with Vince McMahon in charge is a lot more interviews, a lot more visibility to the leadership, to the people that are, behind the scenes. And obviously, my question is is that something that investors and advertisers, is that something that they, kind of wanted to see from Vince? Or is it just you don't have to answer this. This is my own, just throwing it out there. Is it something that they wanted to see from Vince? Actually see the leader, come out and, give reports or give interviews. And, I think that's something, if I'm an investor or I'm on the board, I would want to see, the that person that's in charge regularly, not like all the time. Like, you got to keep, some type of, like you said, mythicism to the character. But like when there's like a premium live event or, something special or something like that, like he should be seen. Not so much Stephanie, obviously, but he should be seen, or Nick Khan. Nick Khan's done a couple of interviews. The last interview he did, I believe, was with Ariel Helwani, and he was actually Ariel Helwani's manager before he took that role. So he was actually he managed Ariel. So they have a great relationship. Obviously, he has that relationship with The Rock as well. So he's definitely familiar with like WWE as a company and the people within it. So I know a lot of. He actually came out and said, I'm not sure if it was in the interview, I don't remember, but he did say a lot of people like to blame Nick Khan for all those releases. And, Triple H said that's totally not true. It's, the internet beats people up because they hear rumors. They have no clue what's going on behind the scenes. And we don't. We have no clue what's going on. He's like, and he has like zero to do with releases whatsoever for Nick Khan.
Right.
And I thought that was pretty awesome. Will people believe it or not? Probably not, because as wrestling fans, everything's a work, nothing's a shoot. Because outside of wrestling, real life doesn't exist. Everything's a work, as we've seen this past week. Anyway, you really have to take a step back sometimes as a wrestling fan and go, okay, there is a real life. There are real life situations and real life consequences to choices that people make.
Yeah. And some people just don't ever take that step back, and it's telling.
You could definitely tell. And again, not making fun of anyone, not like calling out names or like pointing fingers, but as a wrestling fan, sometimes like if this, like you said, if this interview didn't like tell you what type of like person Triple H is and what type of company he's gonna run, and you only picked out, like you said, that one AEW clip, like you're really not doing, you're doing yourself a disservice as a wrestling fan, not even just a WWE fan, as a wrestling fan, learn that stuff. Will we get something like that from Tony Khan? I don't know. Will he do a sit down interview for an hour and a half and explain that stuff? Probably not right now in his early leadership. As you can see, he's running through trials and tribulations right now. And I think, not to hop on that, but like stuff like that, the message that he gave last night is telling. Like, it's like, he looked like a deer in headlights, and he looked like he had his hands behind his back, or it like his hands locked up like this. He's just staring at it. I think you didn't see relaxed or anything like that, but, but yeah, as you can see, Triple H sitting there leaning back, having a casual conversation, like, not comparing the two, but it's like I said, as a wrestling fan, you definitely got to watch out for those things and not get caught up into like the works. What did Hogan say? You work yourself into a shoot until the shoot turns into a work, and then the work turns into something like that.
I posted that picture,
which is true.
That tweet so many times.
If you're gonna listen to one thing that Hulk Hogan says, it's definitely that. Don't work yourself into a shoot, and don't shoot yourself into a work either. So
right,
but yeah.
No, all good points. And Tony Khan has done multiple interviews. Like, he does the Busted Open,
That's
kind
right,
of conversations all the time. But it's
Yeah,
different. I feel like his
his
interviews are done more of like promoting the shows. Rather, Triple H's was more of just like, breaking down what's been going on.
Yeah.
And until we really see that from Tony Khan, I feel like, that's kind of a good advantage that Triple H has, being more open with the public, which we really need in WWE, because there's so much stuff going on right now that you really need to see that behind the scenes look into what's going on.
Yeah.
And over the last countless number of years, you haven't gotten that just open door yet. So
I don't think you've ever gotten that.
No.
Yeah.
Except for maybe
For sure.
whenever he did the Attitude Era speech. You got
Sure.
good guys and bad guys.
Oh my gosh. Wait, where is the
oh yeah, I think we have it.
Yeah.
Look for it.
Here it is.
You, the audience, are quite frankly tired of having your intelligence insulted.
Intelligence insulted.
Yes, we are.
Good guys and bad guys.
Well, a good guy that we're actually going to be losing, a very good guy that we're going to be losing from the roster for a little bit, is Pat
Hold
McAfee.
on.
Oh
Very.
man,
What do you mean? Not
the greatest
very?
acquisition.
Hey Alexa, play
Past 10
My
years.
Hero by Foo Fighters.
Oh my god! I said it in the chat. I was Taylor Hawkins' son, just banging those drums. I was so upset. Look, Pat McAfee has taken on a new position to cover, I think, college football.
College Game Day. Good God.
Yeah.
College Game Day.
Jeez.
You see, this is why we have Mr. Longballs over here.
At least we don't.
At least we don't have. Yeah, I was just gonna say. At least we don't have old slim nuts and long balls.
If we had Slim Nuts, you'd only hear his internal mic. So
You hear,
Right,
you hear
yeah.
the turn on the mic. You hear a lot of F bombs and
Yeah.
a hard R.
yeah, hard R's. Yes.
Pat McAfee has chosen College Game Day over WWE.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
Well, of course, as he should.
Yeah.
He, from what I saw, it's gonna be like until January, right?
Yep.
That's how it works.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
know anything
Pretty
about
much.
college football.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm in college. I don't pay attention to college football.
That's because you live in the Northeast. You Northeasterners, y'all don't love football.
No, it's because I just don't care. But Pat McAfee,
College football. Come to Louisiana. College football is
Yeah, college football's
sacred.
yeah.
It's sacred.
is
down
it?
here.
Yeah.
All right. I barely pay
South,
attention
yeah.
to the NFL, let alone college people playing
Jesus.
football.
Dude, you could have lived in
Son of a
Texas
son.
and not watch college football or even represented. I think you automatically have to move out of the
Well,
state.
they
of
got
Texas.
there's a lot of big schools in like those
Yeah.
type of states. Me in New York, like we have some, but like especially in like Brooklyn and kind of New York City, there's not like that big school. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's kind of different for us. Anyways, back on topic. What kind of Pat McAfee going to College Game Day, and he'll be leaving the SmackDown booth until at
so
least
sad.
January, which is as even though J-Bone expects you to think differently, this is a huge blow to the SmackDown roster
It
because
is.
he has been one of the most consistent pairings with Michael Cole, one of the best commentary pairings over the last few years. So the fact that he is going to be leaving for a bit, it definitely leaves a hole in the roster. Marco, I'll start with you on this one. What were your thoughts on seeing Pat leaving? And just have you put in any thought into like who could replace McAfee for the time being?
He's irreplaceable in that spot next to
Well, fill
Michael
his
Cole.
role. You can never replace him.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like Michael Cole, he kind of reinvigorated Michael Cole. And he's even come out and said it. Pat, he's had the best time he's had working for that company, sitting next to Pat McAfee. Like he actually like brought that joy back into commentary. I mean, I'm talking like he's like leaving forever, which obviously he isn't, but you're definitely going to notice a difference with the Smackdown and all that stuff. And, the dancing on the table when Shinsuke comes out and all that stuff. I'm gonna be sad.
Goes my hero.
No more bum
Watch
ass
him
woman.
as he goes.
I mean, yeah. But
I was listening to that song on the train today. Sorry, continue.
you know what? Here's. I'm gonna just say this. Here's some more Corey Graves, I guess, on SmackDown.
I've got a person that not to really necessarily fill his shoes, but at least we won't hear so much of Corey Graves. They should bring in old Stu Bennett, man. Wade Barrett.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, all right.
I like
I'm
that.
afraid I've got some bad news.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah, but I won't get to hear him say Grayson Waller.
Look at Grayson Waller.
Well, no. Now he'll just be he'll be saying Roman Reigns. That sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good to me.
Or even better,
Gunther.
Oh man.
Wait, I didn't even consider Wade, to be completely honest.
I hope
with
they
you.
do
I feel
that.
like that's an obvious
Yeah.
pick right there. But the guy that I was thinking of, and because it's a Triple H run era now, I could see it more. Nigel McGuinness.
I thought about him too.
He was big in NXT, and what makes me think even more that we will be seeing him is the fact that before everything happened with Pat McAfee bringing the best out of Michael Cole, to me, who really brought the best out of Michael Cole before that was Nigel when they did the UK tournament.
Very good point.
And Michael Cole was calling moves. He was, dissecting the matches, and it was stuff that we hadn't seen before from Mr. 999 himself. So if you put him with someone like, an analyst of wrestling and a former wrestler at that, you could get like a different dynamic. Like, you get the energetic Michael Cole when he's with Pat McAfee, but now you kind of carry over some of that energy, but get like that pro wrestling technique kind of breakdown with Nigel. I think that's the perfect person to put him with.
Yeah. I don't hate that.
Another guy I could see them using. I'm not really sure how well it work. Sam Roberts. I don't know how much it works. Sam is good. I mean, he's good as as breakdown. I'm not sure as a color commentator. That's why I'm like, eh.
Not 2 hours.
Not 2 hours of Sam.
No, maybe just like the pre-show. That stuff's good.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably could carry 2 hours. I don't know. But
I don't know. That's just a guy I kind of thought. Somebody with that kind of like outside wrestling appeal kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. Or it would be fun too. Re-sign him. JEFFJARRET.
Resign fire. Just,
I was even
a new Big Show. Just keep just fire him and sign him.
Oh my god! I was even thinking of. I mean, obviously, he probably won't be able to do it because he'd be super busy behind the scenes. Road Dogg. He was actually really good on commentary at one point when they
what about Triple H? He was doing some good work with Michael Cole during that pandemic show.
No, actually, you know who's free? You know who's free?
Who's
CM Punk.
I was about to say that too.
You could even wear my blazer. The last name.
I'm the best in that ring on the commentary.
Even on commentary. The last person that came to mind, and because they hinted at him on SmackDown, and I didn't even see this, I had to go back on social media and find it. JBL, because apparently he's going to be doing a new story with Happy Corbin. So maybe this is a way to kind of bring JBL into the fold. I don't want to see it. I think JBL and
welcome
Cole,
to SmackDown, Michael.
I think JBL and Cole are a good pairing, and they're a reliable pairing, but like, there's too many other good options to put JBL in there.
Do you think Corbin's going to get that gimmick? Do you think they're going to pass on the JBL gimmick to Corbin?
Doesn't he already kind of have it though? With Mr. Mr. Big Bucks.
I mean, a little tweak to it, I think. A little bit more seriousness as part of like the, he's kind of, not that he's a jokey character.
Okay,
but like,
true.
JBL was more, straightforward.
Right.
Yeah.
We won't repeat any of the things he did, but let's just say he was like one of the top heels.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? His gimmick might fit nowadays. You wouldn't be able to do it. He might appeal to some people.
He was that era's $1 Million Man. So
yeah,
that's a good point.
He's a tycoon.
I would like to see it if they went, but they have to like go all in on it, like vignettes, give him a stable, like it could work, and I think it'll give Corbin something to do. Why not? But as far as commentary is concerned, JBL, Cole, maybe.
Yeah.
Meh.
Bring King back.
No.
Oh,
God,
don't bring King back. Let's not do
Booker
that.
T. Booker T's
okay,
free.
Booker T, I'm good. Well, you got a guy like Roman Reigns.
You got a guy here like Happy Corbin, and he's over here trying to be like the $1 Million Man.
Listen up, Cole. You got a guy like.
Oh, shucky, ducky, quack, quack.
Quick,
Oh boy.
quick.
Well, when it comes down to it, so many good options that you can pick from. So I feel like it'll be fine. It's not like there's a huge hole where it has to be Corey Graves. I feel like that is the worst option, is to put Corey Graves in there.
Yeah, because he's just going to be
oversaturated.
and I think Triple H is smarter than that. So
Yeah.
if this was the Vince era, it would be 100% Corey.
It would be Corey Graves. And it's not bad. It's just
tattoo
Corey
guy
Graves.
out
Like
there.
too many Corey Graves. Here's another. Nick Arias is in the chat,
Yeah.
and he says
What up, Nick?
Renee Young.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
bring her back. All right.
And she was associated with some type of Peacock WWE Network special that they're doing. So
Huh.
maybe, I don't know, the connection with
She left though,
the
right?
Moxley
She didn't
connection.
she didn't get
left.
released or anything. She left.
Yeah.
She
She left on her
Yeah.
own accord.
And it seems like it's still a good relationship. It's not really, they didn't end on bad terms or anything. So
where is CM Punk going to go after he gets released?
retirement home. He is.
No, but where's he going to go do his interview at?
Oh, true.
gonna go-
Scott Colton's podcast.
gonna go,
boy.
Maybe Mindy's Bakery will start up their own
Goddamn,
podcast.
bro.
That's
there
a
you
good way
go.
to get in the press. Apparently, their sales went up because of
I wonder why.
Punk.
They-
Yeah, I wonder why.
He's
right?
gonna when he
He's going
when
to
he
start
gets
complaining
released.
about that.
Because
he
of
gets
some
released.
empty-headed, dumb fucking fucks.
yeah, it's gonna be like when he gets released, it's gonna be like, hey, it's Conrad Thompson. And you're
I did that
listening
joke at the
to-
You
beginning of the
just
show.
you're
Hey,
listening
this
to-
is Conrad Thompson. You're listening to Best in the World with CM
Nope,
Punk.
not even that. It's called Empty-Headed Fucks with CM Punk.
Empty-headed
CM
fucking
Punk, how
dumb
are ya?
fucks. Oh boy, Bobby Fish's podcast. That would be a yeah. I don't know if that's a good podcast to be on, but
Oh,
anyways,
Phil
old Phil.
Brooks.
We'll get to old Phil. We're gonna have a lot to say on old Phil in a bit,
Phil
but
my
that was a
Brooks.
fun outside the ropes. Let's get into our next segment, which is called
Collar and elbow.
Collar and Elbow. This is for all of the news that happened inside of the ropes, and we are fresh off the heels. Well, not fresh anymore. This is going to be a new kind of dynamic now, because we used to review the shows right after they happened, but now it feels
It's the
like
new era of Rawdown.
it's the new era, the Attitude Era. It feels like Clash of the Castle happened like years ago. I know. It's almost like not even fresh to talk about anymore because there's so many other things that have happened. But we do have to discuss some of this interesting stuff that happened at Clash at the Castle. It was a great show. One of the better pay-per-views of the year. This was Triple H's first pay-per-view, like solely Triple H, with the build-up all the way to the card itself. So this is what we got from it. What do we want to do? We want to get into this main event first, and we'll just kind of throw around some topics from there, because I feel like that's the
Which
big
main
thing
event?
right now.
Which main event?
Well, the last match on the card,
Okay.
of course.
All right.
There's another main event that we'll also bring up. There were a few main events actually that we could talk about.
No, what I meant was, I guess, really the best match or the main event. Is what I really meant. But
we'll
yeah.
be talking about both for certain.
Yeah.
I'll hit the drop in a bit, but let's talk about the last match, and that was Roman Reigns defeating Drew McIntyre. Of course, this match, I thought it was going to go the other way, and it was. They built this up so perfectly, right?
They did.
Broken Dreams, which I'm so happy. Like 2010 me was so happy to hear Broken Dreams. Like this is like when they bring back like an Attitude Era wrestler or like a legend from the past. This is to me what that is to you. Like hearing No More Words for Jeff Hardy or hearing Broken Dreams.
Broken Dreams just slaps. Honestly,
It's I've been listening to that on Spotify ever since. It's a fantastic song.
All I dare anyone to go back. Any Ruthless Aggression era music is the best WWE
it is.
music.
It really
It
is.
Dude, Randy Orton's music still slaps.
Broken Dreams.
Batista's music slaps.
Yeah.
No More Words. Jeff Hardy, No More. Dude, just
So say
banger
goodbye.
after banger. Dude.
What's
Like,
the metronome I hear? So, right. Broken Dreams comes back. The crowd is on fire doing the soccer chants for Drew. Roman comes out. And I think the best part about this match is Roman selling the crowd because you can tell in his facial expressions, like there's no Paul, there's no Usos, and he's just looking around at the crowd, and he knows that it's like what did Michael Cole say? Like, you've heard of a 6 man, try a 60,000 man or something. And he sold that really, really well. The match itself was great. I think we all knew it was going to be a really good match. And then they built it up so great, having Theory come down, Tyson Fury sucker punching him, Drew's about to win, and then all of a sudden the referee gets pulled out of the ring.
Yep.
And the hooded man takes his hood off, and who is it? It's Solo Sikoa.
All by myself, Sikoa.
The one-man Sikoa. He, of course, is the younger brother of the Usos, the forgotten Uso, if you will. And he has aligned himself with the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And, all right.
Big road.
I'll start giving my opinions on this real quick because I liked it. I liked everything that they did. I was I'm still not sure about Solo being the guy here, because it would be calling the kettle black for us to be like, oh, well, AEW brings all these guys who, they introduce us to these guys with no build or no story or no explanation. And then here comes Solo Sikoa, who, to their credit, Michael Cole said the younger brother of the Usos or whatever. But, like, in front of 60,000 people in one of your biggest stadium shows of the year.
I feel like I got to put my Becky Lynch glasses on right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm signing with you, Jay Bono.
But then hear me out. But then I started thinking about it, and it's the fact that Drew couldn't have won it here. Like, looking at the whole grand scheme of things, right?
Duh.
They built it up perfectly. The story was great. But the fact is, like, look at all the other factors that we have here. It wasn't in the United States. It was at 3:00 on a Saturday. You're talking about a 2-year reign, and it's to a guy who isn't, who is the same age as Drew McIntyre. So thinking about all of those kind of circumstances, I think it's okay that they brought in Solo Sikoa here, because it's just another layer of the bloodline story. It wasn't something where Roman beat him clean, because that didn't need to happen. There's still some cheating. It makes the bloodline feel fresh now because Solo's in it. So I'm okay with it. It took me a while to get on board. I was thinking it over, but I'm cool with it. I'm excited for Solo to be in.
You're okay with it, but you love the Judgment Day. Come on, Anthony.
Of course I do.
Jesus,
I still love Judgment Day. We'll get to Judgment Day in a bit.
This was excellent. First of all, and only I think this. So I thought maybe the crack or the foundation of the bloodline was maybe starting to crack, and not. They just added this on a whole nother layer. I could see Solo maybe even not anytime soon, but coming up soon, maybe beating Gunther for the Intercontinental title. They all hold all the titles at one point. Okay. It's gonna be a little while before that happens. I'm not saying this. Calm down. I'm not gonna say this is gonna happen tomorrow or anything like that. And I think it's gonna even add to my theory even more. Roman's dropping this title not at WrestleMania 39, WrestleMania 40.
What?
I'm telling you, baby, it's happening. Philadelphia finally in. You're gonna have the American Nightmare finally crowned as Universal Champion, WrestleMania 40, in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I would love to see that because I'm probably going to be there. So you know what? I'm on board for that. In that case.
It's just it's really hard to fathom the amount of storytelling you would have to do all the way.
It's really not. It's not actually. Cody loses at 39, and then he's got to get back to the title picture, but he's got people in his way. Maybe.
No. I'm talking about the storyline from now all the way.
For Roman?
Yeah, for Roman.
For Roman.
Nah. You know why? Because they're building all these main event players around Roman. If this was 3 months ago, I'd be like, ooh, yeah.
And he could just squash.
No, he's not gonna squash, but he's gonna go through them. You know, you can build programs. You can build 3-month programs with certain individuals.
You know,
and he doesn't have to be on every single pay-per-view either.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So
you know, I'm good. I'm good with that. Holding it until WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said that a month ago if Vince was in charge.
I've been saying it for probably 3 months. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I haven't said. I'd actually said it when Vince was in charge. But
well, that's a bold statement to make when Vince was there. But the fact is that this is the benefit of bringing all of these, you know, released wrestlers comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Gargano, Braun Strowman, who we'll be talking about in a second. These are all guys who aren't going to be the top guy. But if you're going to have Roman hold on to that title until WrestleMania 40, you need some people that he could beat.
Yeah,
and even though they are not the guys to beat, they are still good challengers.
And they get elevated. They get elevated. Like Johnny Gargano, if he goes up against Roman, and he just comes up just short, he immediately gets elevated in the card.
Yeah.
So
even Loomis could be a fun program.
Yeah.
Obviously we don't know what like Survivor Series looks like right now because Roman has both belts.
Mm-hmm.
And normally with Survivor Series, it's, you know, champion from one brand versus champion on the other brand. So right now you can't do it with the Usos or Roman. Essentially, you can only do it really with the IC title. You just have that Gunther and I'm assuming Bobby Lashley. They're both gonna have the titles until then. But I would feel at some point they're gonna have to split those titles up.
Yeah, maybe so.
Like, can I give you a fantasy booking that I found somewhere that I would be cool with?
Well, I think. Well, let me. I think I can. I think I know what you're gonna say because I had two. I had two scenarios. So I had one.
Here's what I read. I'm not gonna give myself credit for it because I couldn't have come up with this. But Survivor Series, November 2022. Is going to be the 10-year anniversary of the Shield. It's not the exact day, but it's
the debut
the month
of the Shield.
The debut, in the same month or whatever.
10 years, damn.
Mm-hmm. So someone said, "Why don't you do Roman versus Seth in some type of a ladder match? It could be like TLC, it could be just a regular ladder match, whatever. And you put both of the belts up, and of course, there's shenanigans with the Usos and everything, but." You have Seth and Roman, the last members of the Shield. Seth could do the mind games with the Shield and whatever. But eventually, you get to the finish of the match where both guys are on the top and they're fighting each other. And Roman's holding on to the Universal title and Seth is holding on to the WWE title. And they both rip it down, their respected titles, and they both fall off the ladder. And then that means Roman still holds on to the Universal Championship, keeps his 2-year and how many month reign, and then Seth takes the WWE title so that Raw gets a champion and Cody versus Seth can happen when Cody eventually does come back from injury at WrestleMania, and then Roman can face The Rock for the Universal title, and Roman can even retain the title against The Rock. And I'm fucking 100% all for that.
You know what?
That's not bad.
That actually makes sense because you can go, Cody returns at the Royal Rumble, possibly wins it. And then if that scenario does happen, fantasy booking, Seth Rollins has the title. Obviously, he chooses Seth Rollins, obviously, to face at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But then
because what do you do with the Royal Rumble if Roman keeps both of those titles? Because it's Roman versus Rock all the way. And you're not going to have The Rock win the Royal Rumble. That's a fucking waste.
In that scenario, too, you got to go, there has to be something where Cody doesn't look like he's going to beat Seth Rollins. Because he's already just demolished him every time they fought. Well, it's not like, he has his number, essentially. So they have to make it look like, if that scenario is going to happen, that Cody Rhodes has no chance of beating Seth Rollins for that title. They have to, make him look weak somehow. I'm not sure how they would do it, but that's the only scenario I see. Because if I see Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, yeah, he's automatically going to win at WrestleMania. There's no question about it. Just judging from their previous matches, so they'd have to do that there. The Roman Reigns Rock angle is actually intriguing because you have Roman Reigns just demolishing everyone, just beating everyone left and right, like a long list of all the main event people that the WWE has to offer. And then you have The Rock come out and challenge him. That's his biggest obstacle. And any outsider, any casual fan seeing The Rock come back to face for a title automatically thinks The Rock's going to win that title. Yeah. Especially the way he looks now, essentially. It's like, The Rock's facing Roman Reigns? Who the fuck is Roman Reigns? I know The Rock. Yeah, he's definitely going to win.
Unless, but see, that's exactly why you have to have Roman go over Rock.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's the finality part of it. Is like even the Rock, even Roman Reigns would, kind of second guess himself. It's like, this is the fucking Rock. This is like the most electrifying man. This is the biggest paid actor in the world, like the biggest star in the world. And
I feel like if you don't do Roman versus Rock and Seth versus Cody at WrestleMania, there's nothing else that you could do.
That might have to be.
It has to be those two matches.
That might have to be LA.
Yeah. And as far as Roman Rock, so you said Rock winning the Royal Rumble would be lame, and I agree with you, it would be, and that would be a very Vince move to happen.
Oh yeah, no, we don't.
But I think even unfortunately, like this is the part where you're gonna still maybe see Vince's fingerprints, because if that is the plan, let's say that's been the plan since this past WrestleMania, right? That's going to be a big deal they got to make, where they got to plan it out a year in advance, and they're going to sign deals and sign contracts there, where unfortunately it has to happen like that, and which is the downfall of just WWE in general, because it's so large, right? That even like Triple H, even though he's booking so great, that will be his, not his downfall, but it'll be just like that's a Vince booking. But then like Triple H's hands are tied because he had to do this move. So, but unless you have that booking on Survivor Series, which would be great, I think then that could change things. Another thing I would like to see as well too, bring back War Games. Now you got four members of the Bloodline. You could do Drew McIntyre. Maybe finally they get tired of Sami Zayn, kick him out. You could have Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and then a fourth person that Solo Sikoa could go up against.
That's
that could
a
be
good
somebody
fucking
potential
match right there.
Yeah, that might happen at Survivor
I like
Series.
the sound of that.
Yeah, so
I like the sound of that. Yeah,
but either way, I like both. I like that idea with the ladder match and things like that. That would be fun.
But I think for some reason I can't remember, but I think on NXT they kind of mentioned War Games already. That they're going to start doing teams.
Oh, did they? I feel like it's going to, at least for the time being, at least for this year, it's going to stay War Games.
Maybe so. I would love to see if they just do one Survivor Series style match, but make it be in a War Games match.
Well, I'm hearing that like this is going to be the last Extreme Rules, and then after this, they're looking to replace it with something like War Games or some type of stipulation pay-per-view.
Halloween Havoc?
Maybe a Halloween Havoc, maybe a War Games. So you could be seeing a lot of different things in the near future. I love the fantasy booking, especially now with Triple H, because like we were fantasy booking WrestleMania months ago, and now like some things are still the same, but I feel like so many things have changed now that you have all these different potential matches.
Yeah, and he kind of alluded to it in that interview too with the Rock, when he talked about like, if the Rock would come back at WrestleMania, and he's like, doors open. It's up. It's literally up. And he's right. It's literally up to the Rock. Like he's like,
I used to look at him while I was getting the people's elbow.
Yeah,
and I would see the goosebumps.
But yeah, you got to think he has that Black Adam movie coming out like in a few months, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is it coming out this year or next year? It's this year, right? So he's going to be promoting that. Who knows? Survivor Series rolls around, maybe?
And his schedule is apparently wide open.
Yeah,
So.
XFL will be done.
Yeah,
XFL be done. There you go.
like you said, the ball's in the Rock's core. Let's see if he.
Hey, Dewey,
Yeah.
we need you, Dewey. But we're tight like that. I can call him Dewey. It's fine.
Look, I would love to sit here and chat about fantasy booking all day, but we have a match of the week to discuss. Because what the fuck else would it be?
Exactly.
Banger.
Gunther, Sheamus. Boom.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks for watching.
Gee whiz.
I
love we kind of talked about it last week. I don't know if you saw it, Anthony. Marco had brought up maybe Giovanni Vinci come up and when they'll start the Axis of Evil. World War II all over again.
That's fucking great. That's really good. Oh my god. But yeah, Gunther, Sheamus. Okay, look, I hate to compare to AEW, but I genuinely wanted to ask this question: did anything on the All Out card come close to this match, in your opinion?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
And it's not because we're on the Rawdown. It's not
right.
WWE.
No. This was the best match of the weekend.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Like I've been hearing like the Acclaimed and
so you know what? I would if I had to pick, it'd be like this. Like they'd be like neck and neck for like match of the week. Yeah, that Acclaimed match was awesome, dude.
Hot takes here. Get your hot takes here.
Is that me saying is that a hot take from me?
Yeah, I would say
it's not really a hot take. I think a lot of people agreed that.
Well, I think it's
a lukewarm take.
It's a lukewarm take.
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, it was the best match of that whole card.
Get your lukewarm takes here.
No, it definitely was the best match of that whole card, in my opinion. Like that had more people invested in that match than any other match on that card. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was. The problem with that match is going into that match, everybody was like wanting the Acclaim to win, whereas nobody really had a dog in this fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I think
it exceeded its expectations, and at the same time, it's like okay, Gunther won, that's fine. But if Sheamus would have won, I'd be like, okay, that's fine too.
Yeah,
and they got me a little bit thinking that Sheamus was going to win. Like there were some points where everything with like him, needing that IC title to be the Grand Slam champion. There were some really near falls. I was thinking with the crowd reaction, maybe Sheamus pulls it off, and of course Gunther would go on to win as he should. But I feel like it's completely different when you come to something like the Acclaimed and Swerve in Our Glory, because everyone wanted the Acclaimed to win going into that match. There was no expectation that Swerve in Our Glory was going to win and it was going to be fine. Like everyone wanted Caster and Bowens to win, and they still went with retaining the titles. On the flip side, everyone knew that Gunther was going to win. That's why it gets even better when you get into that match and you think maybe Sheamus has a chance in this, because they're telling the story in the ring. It's not even expected, who's going to win.
Yeah, see, I was probably like one of those people that are, that was on the like way outside of that box. I didn't think Acclaim was going to win that match at all. I didn't. I
thought they would win.
I thought they were going to lose.
I wanted them to win because I thought it was just better for the division.
That too.
Part of me thought it was going to be Swerve in Our Glory.
That's.
No, they need that elevator match. They needed to be elevated a little bit more.
Right. They always do those in like NXT. That was a big thing in NXT, was just those elevating matches.
Yeah,
where,
they
wouldn't win, but it was a good showcase.
Yeah, next the crowd was behind them. People love them. They scissor me daddy and all that stuff. But at the same time, they needed that challenge.
Yeah.
Because you haven't seen them do that. You've seen like the dumpster match, but that was like really nothing. But you haven't seen them be like serious, be taken seriously,
right,
as a tag team.
That's a fair point.
Huh? What was that?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you gave the titles to the Acclaimed, and I've been fantasy booking it for so long, the easiest route they could have gone with give the Acclaim the titles and just have a long promo with the Gun Club, because there are so many like not finished story arcs that you could have gone with on that, and they kind of just like threw it away. Like now Billy Gunn is just with the Acclaimed, and now Colton and Austin are just part of Stokely's group,
NWO Light,
which they already fucked up, but that's for the wrap up show. Wait, I want to get to just real quick. I want to get to this question that Tyson had. Do you see another babyface run for Sheamus? I don't want to.
It's a shameful thing, lobster head.
Bring that back. I mean, I can see it, especially if they we kind of fantasy booked the War Games. McIntyre, Sami Zayn, KO.
Okay, yeah.
Again,
Sheamus is just so better as a heel. I feel like he's just like that. He has the look of a heel. He just acts like a heel.
I'll tell you one thing.
His United States title run was really good.
I'll tell you one thing.
Last year.
Wait, I mean, if you didn't think he was underrated before this match, you're mistaken. That dude is.
He's one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. He will never get his props.
Dude.
He's a multi-time world champion too, which is crazy that people don't put him in of course, I don't expect people to think, Money in the Bank winner, multi-time U.S. champ winner, Royal Rumble winner,
tag team champ.
I mean,
world champ.
I understand why people won't put him in like that. Obviously, he'll never be in like the top tiers or the greatest of all time.
We had that. We kind of talked about this on the Chick Foley show this past week, where we talked about a ways back. We had in our group chat, we had like a big feud going on, where Seth came out and said that he thinks British Bulldog is in a higher regard than Sheamus as far as like accolades and stuff like that. And to be fair, I mean, on paper,
I didn't grow up with British Bulldog, but like on paper, absolutely not.
On paper, no. I mean, as far as accolades are concerned, no. But as far as like, legendary status, probably yes. British Bulldog's a more memorable character than Sheamus.
Davey Bone Smith?
Yeah.
Davey Bone?
Yeah, I mean, so I get that, but yeah, that was like a huge debate topic. It almost broke up the inner circle that we had going on there between Sheamus and British Bulldog. But dude, Sheamus is amazing, dude. He's starting to prove his worth, kind of like how Miz is doing right now on Raw, just having like banger matches the way they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think they just I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because Vince is gone and Triple H is utilizing them more and making these matches that we really didn't see.
Well, don't forget, Sheamus was doing great. Like, he's been one of the like unsung heroes of this pandemic era of the last 2 years.
Yeah, I agree.
His U.S. title run was great.
Yep.
He's had some pretty good matches with like
stuff with Jeff too.
The stuff with Jeff was pretty good. Drew McIntyre, there you go, right there. Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
I mean, they were having like match of the year contenders last year. Like, Sheamus, even under Vince's control, in the last 2 years, he's kind of proven his worth a little bit. And I do really hope he gets that IC title run, just to have that Grand Slam title to him.
Complete the Infinity Stone gauntlet.
The Infinity Stones. Yeah. But until then, like the match with Gunther, match of the year contender for sure. I think it's just so funny that it's 2022 and Sheamus is in a match of the year contender. Like this was a guy that like was world champion legit a decade ago.
I think we brought up
and
something
here we are.
I forget what year it was. He was like on PWI's. He was in the top 5 one year.
Wow.
For wrestler of the year. I forget. It was like I forget what year it was.
It's probably either 2012 or 2012.
Yeah. That's insane, dude.
That was a great year for him.
Yeah.
That was a year he the 18 seconds. He
18
had
seconds,
with Daniel Bryan. He had a really underrated match with Big Show that year at Hell in a Cell.
Dude,
Big
Sheamus can move around.
We got to start giving Sheamus his props. He's one of the
I think it's because they changed his theme music. I just like
Yeah.
And they changed up his look and everything.
Yeah, they bring back the shameful. It's a shameful thing.
It's a shameful thing, lobster head.
Yeah, you really start thinking about it too.
All these words are true,
and I make you believe. The stuff with the bar. Like I'm now like reminiscing on Sheamus's career, and I'm like,
Yeah, the bar was pretty good.
Damn.
The 7 Series match that he had with
dude,
Cesaro, aka
I
Claudio.
forgot.
Not the League
God
of
damn.
Nations. That was not good.
The League of Nations was
Yeah, the League of Nations.
Not even
He had,
and
he had that good match with Roman on Raw. That
Yeah.
was a little fun match. Dude, I gotta
Yeah.
go back and watch him Sheamus. I grew up with him. And I
man.
kind of like I didn't even like appreciate him.
Tony's getting a Mark boner right now.
I hope Sheamus doesn't retire. I'm gonna get my hero out again. Get my drum
I'm
set
telling you,
out.
I think like that match actually like showed people like if you weren't a fan of Sheamus before or didn't really like see his worth, I think this match definitely showed that. I mean, I don't know what else you could ask for out of Sheamus.
Good points. Good points all around. I wanted to also hit on this. We don't have to spend too much time because I want to get to some other stuff, but just quick opinions on Dom.
I love this.
Ray.
I
and
loved
Edge.
it.
All right, I'm already on both sides here, so let's start with
You're
let's
on
start with
both
some
sides?
positive. Well, no. I'm saying I'm in between both sides right now, literally.
Okay.
So let's start with the positive side. Marco, go ahead.
I liked it,
And then
man.
I will be the voice. I'll be the voice of reason afterwards. After
I mean, I was waiting for. Obviously, we kind of. We've all been kind of predicted. Well, except for J-Bone. I mean, I think me and you, Anthony, we've been kind of predicting Dominik.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I just didn't.
I knew
like
it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Sit there with your Becky
I knew.
Lynch
I was
shades.
with you guys. Hey, wait for me, guys. Oh, come on, man.
right behind
Come on, let me go, man.
Come on, I want to play too.
No, but I love.
Do I have to walk on the street? Let me walk on the sidewalk with you guys.
Here's what I liked about it. I loved Edge's reaction of getting like staring down Dominik as he was falling, like just like the like that thing, and then the betrayal, your own flesh and blood. And he just looks. He looked. I mean, obviously he's bigger than Rey Mysterio, but he looked like kind of like a powerhouse almost, just hitting him with that clothesline. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's another.
Powerhouse.
It's a little bit early. Obviously, he's. I think the heel side of Dominik. I think him hanging with the Judgment Day, and I think he's going to come out of this a better wrestler and a better talent. I think anyway. That's just me. I mean, I loved it. I was waiting for this to happen anyway. It's just weird that they did it at this, event. I thought it was going to be somewhere else, but who am I to judge? I'm just glad it happened already. Get Dominik away from Ray. Yeah, get him away from Ray. Get him on his own. Let him spread his wings and let him fly a little bit, or his angel wings, I should say, because he's with Judgment Day. So spread those angels' wings, Dominik. Go with your mamacita, Rhea. I love that dynamic too, man. I'm sorry. I love Rhea and Dominik.
All right, J-Bone, go ahead.
This sucked.
He just hates Judgment Day, dude. You can't have him give opinions.
So first of all,
give your take, because I got some words.
Just first of all, Judgment Day loses again. Okay. Who cares? But he was just like outside of the ring, trying to help this team win, battling them. They were battling him, and then all of a sudden he walks in the ring and I want to play too. It's like me turning on you guys. Okay, and it just looked so lame. It was so you could see it coming a mile away. And then he walks out on Raw, and you know what he reminded me of? It reminded me of like. Okay, this is way back in the day. Marco, you might not. You probably remember this. Maybe not you, Anthony. But do y'all remember whenever Terry Runnels, whenever she had to serve the 30-day, servership to Brian Pillman?
Oh,
when she was the sex slave.
Yeah,
and then at one point she came in with the slick back hair.
Yeah.
Like it was so oily in the dress. It reminded me of that. Like he came out as he's like the Judge of Today's sex slave.
But that's what it is. I mean, he's with Rhea. I mean, That's what it's supposed to be, right? I mean, that's
He's supposed to be her sex slave.
I think so. I mean, the way
Jesus.
that if you listen to the
Well, okay, all right.
That her in her promo on Raw.
I don't.
I
just.
mean, they're not saying it, but they are saying it. You know, she's making him a man.
I just like. I don't know, man. It was
I like
just.
it, dude. He reminded me of also of.
It's a horrible story. I hate it.
He
I don't
reminded me
like.
of,
I don't even like Dominik. Get him out of the fucking promotion.
I love it.
Get him out of fucking wrestling.
You gotta love it whether you like it or not. All right.
Put a mask on his fucking dome, his ugly fucking dome. Get him the fucking out.
Now what they'll do is they'll put a mask on him, but they'll cut a little part around the head so that the slick back hair can stick out.
The bad guy lawyer hair.
Yeah, right.
It reminded me of Peter Parker in Spider-Man 3 when he was emo. Peter Parker.
Dude needs to. Yes, I do remember that.
I'm sorry, Anthony. The previous Spider-Man 3.
Right.
Yes, I've seen Spider-Man.
Dude needs. I know I'm not one to talk, but I'm also not taking my shirt off every week and wearing underwear for an all national TV. But the dude needs to fucking hit a gym too.
Oh yeah, of course. Come on.
Yeah. Like he's been
That's in due time. It's in due time. Don't worry.
But he's been wrestling now for fucking what, 3 years now, and he looks more flabby than when he started. Like hit a fucking gym, dude. Go get some fucking supplements. Go to GNC.
He will.
Take your ICO Pro.
Dude, do you know who he's with right now? He's with 3 of the most in shape people. Like he's gonna be ripped by the end of this.
Yeah, and I hate Judgment Day. I hate him.
More abs for Dom. He's gonna come out of this looking like fucking Finn Balor and Damian Priest smashing into each other.
I fucking
That's
hate
what he's gonna
him.
come out with.
All right. Can I give my take now?
The only thing I like about Judgment Day is Rhea. Rhea's the only one that's
good call.
Has been elevated.
I'm Team Dom.
All right. So I'm in between someone who is very positive about this and someone who is very negative about this. And I can't believe I'm about to say it.
Uh-oh.
I hated how they did this.
Yes!
No!
I feel like I should hit the hot takes button.
Hot takes here. Get your hot takes here.
I fucking hated how they went about this. This is the first L of the Judgment Day. Now look.
Well, they've had many L's, but
in my eyes. And my eyes are always right because I see out of these glasses here. It's 20/20 vision. Of course, Judgment Day hasn't been perfect, right? They've made some blunders along the way that I kind of picked up on the story and can kind of find the roadmap and find that kind of story along the way. And I was very excited for Dom to be included in this because it makes sense. Ray is overshadowing him, and they set up the story perfectly that Ray picks Edge over Dom. And the story was right fucking there, and it made sense. But they went about this in such a bad way from the story itself. You start things off backstage with Ray and Dom, and Ray's like, hey, I have to pick Edge over my son. I'm sorry, son. And Dom's like, it's okay, Dad. I'll be there with you. It's okay. With a big smile on his face. And then we get to the show. Nothing's even hinted at. They hadn't even hinted anything about, Ray wanting Edge over Dom in the first place. That was the only little piece of story that we got. So we get to Cardiff.
I get you.
And we do the entrances with Edge, with the mask, and Ray. And here comes Edge. And what's Dom doing? He's got a big fucking smile on his face. He loves seeing Edge come out with the mask on, and he's giving him a high five, and he's ready to see this match. Why isn't Dom pissed off that this isn't his spot? Why is he smiling? Why? Give me some eyebrows or something. Like, come on already. We're smiling here. So, and that's just, it goes to Dom being green and he can't sell anything. But, match, I thought the match was very good. I thought it overachieved.
Yeah.
I thought
Ray,
I thought Edge doing the Big E spear on the outside, like, going from the ropes, through the ropes and doing the spear. why the fuck is he doing that with his neck? But
That's fine.
Yeah, he's good.
But the match was good. And then we get to the finish. Of course, Ray, does I don't even remember what he does. He holds Finn's foot or something, and then it leads to the spear. And then Judgment Day should have won, but they didn't.
Yep.
That's another thing. They absolutely should have won this match. And then we get to the aftermath. I'm fine with Dom punting Edge in the nuts.
It looked weird too, by the way.
It looked weird, but it was also his shoe fell off when he was kicking him.
He kicked so hard. He was really.
He had to throw
really
the other shoe off too. What I'm not cool about is the fact that he turned on Ray right after that. You could hold off on doing the turn on Ray like 2 months from now.
Right.
Because
really?
in my eye, and I was talking to Tyler about this from Counted Out with Mike and Tyler, and he gave such a good idea that you shouldn't have Dom turn on Ray now. You should hint at it or do something where it turns into like the Owen Brett story, where
Perfect.
you have.
How do you like that?
You have like Survivor Series that Owen throws a tantrum and whatever, but then right after that, it's just back to Owen and Brett are on the same page. They're smiling. They're doing the promos together. Like, yeah, we're on the same page. We had a little difficulties, but we're gunning for those tag team titles, and but Owen's still kind of slapping them a little too hard and whatever. And then you get to the Royal Rumble where Owen and Brett lose the tag team title match, and then Owen turns on Brett. You could have waited so long. Have Dom, turn on Edge, but have Ray be like, I can't turn on my son like they're doing now. But Dom is, more against Edge. But eventually they're kind of like, Dom's in the mindset like, yeah, we're back together, whatever. I'm still fucking pissed at you, but yeah, we're back together as a tag team. And then, they have a tag team title match or something. And then Dom turns on Ray in a bigger spot, like at the Royal Rumble, where you can stretch the story out, and then do Dom versus Ray at WrestleMania. Why would you do this in September, where now the biggest stage that you could do it on is fucking how many months from now? You could have stretched this out so much longer to where you could put a father versus son match. When do we see that on WrestleMania? They fucked it up.
They're probably going to do it.
Well, we saw Vince versus Shane.
Yeah, I guess
they're probably going to do it at Extreme Rules or some shit. It's going to be dumb.
Come on, like
have an
Extreme Rules
match. Yeah.
They can save the story by going with the Dom and Ray route. If they can make this really good storytelling, because I think that's what everyone really cares about right now is just Dom and Ray in the first place. If they go the Undertaker Kane route, where Undertaker doesn't want to fight his brother, Ray doesn't want to fight his son, and they stretch that out for a little bit, we could at least get to like Survivor Series with this.
Yeah, I think they're going to do that.
Fucking done it at WrestleMania.
They could have.
Stupid that they hot-shotted this.
They could have, but
so I'm with you, J-Bone.
I thought you were in between. I thought you said you were in between.
I'm in between because there are some things that I like. I'm okay with Dom being a part of Judgment Day, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, it could have been so much better.
Well, he's going to face Edge at some point. Like, that's going to be the middle.
He's facing Edge next week.
Who, Dominik?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I thought they were going to stretch that out. See,
they might make it into a story thing.
It's going to be a storyline because they're definitely going to have a match on Extreme Rules.
Yeah, this seems very Mox Punk on Dynamite.
Yeah, it's
for me to think this is Edge and Dom on a random episode of Raw, but.
Yeah, it's
So that was my whole take on this.
I mean, we'll see we'll see what happens. We'll see how what plays out.
They haven't failed me. They failed me once, but in the last year, Judgment Day has been consistently a good thing in my perspective. So they could save it. It's just, God, you could have made this so much better.
I know. Well, you know what? We all have trips and falls. We scrape our knee.
Has some trips,
right?
We see.
And we get up and we put a Band-Aid on it and we move on. Just like
And then sometimes you fall and break every bone in your face, your everything, nose, all that stuff, and that's what the Judgment Day did.
Yeah, sometimes you dive outside the ring and you tear your
triceps and your pectoral.
For 6 to 8 months.
Like Uncle Dave says, arm muscle.
Yeah, it's some type of arm muscle. I don't know if it's the pec or if it's the tendon or this, that, the other thing.
It's a good Dave impression.
Thank you. I've been working on it. You just have to say nonsense and say it in a very deep voice. That's Dave Meltzer.
I don't know where they're planning on going with this.
None of us do, Dave.
I could see it. I could see where they're going with it, but I don't really know. I've talked to some people, but I also haven't talked to some people, and we're gonna have to wait and see. We'll wait and see.
This really reminds me of the 80s.
All right. One more thing before we move on to our last segment, because it's time to open the door once again.
Welcome back.
Hello!
Welcome. Where the hell have you been?
I'm back.
Hello there.
I'm back.
I'm going back to the big show.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. I'm not finished with you yet.
Braun Strowman has returned. Thoughts?
Okay, so I'm going to start this. I'm sorry, I'm jumping in. But a couple weeks back, I said that the Johnny Gargano entrance was like probably the worst. Well, with the show, I'm going to, eat my words on that. This was 100%. First of all, you
Braun
have
Strowman coming out and beating 8 tag team members and getting these hands.
You're trying to rebuild. They were doing so good. They were getting on the way to start rebuilding the tag team, right? We had a 4-way match. We got the New Day. We hadn't seen the New Day on Raw. Little spot where they face off each other and then they trying to pin each other. Cool. Whatever. Good stuff happened. And then you hear Braun.
All aboard the Strowman Express.
And then, not to mention, he slipped on the way out.
Yeah.
And it didn't help.
Banana peel there.
You're not gonna like that banana peel later. What is this, Mario Kart?
This banana peel is gonna get these hands.
I'm gonna shoot my red shell at you, pal.
I'm controlling my narrative, and I'm gonna slip on this banana peel on my return.
Oh my god! And it didn't help that the news leaked, so everybody was expecting it, but not in that spot. This was just not.
It wasn't the spot to do
it. Was womp 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 womp.
Like,
Me and Nicholas are gonna go after the tag team title.
That's legitimately what I thought. In fact, Matt Cardona even tweeted, "Where's Nicholas at?"
Honestly, I could see it happening at this point.
How old is he now? How old would that kid be now?
Let's see. So that was 30.
Old enough to win the tag team titles.
So that was like 4 years ago. How old was he? 9 years old?
Probably.
Yeah, so he'd be 13 if he was 9. So.
Yeah, that's old enough. He can get in the ring.
Oh, so nine's not.
No, did Rey Mysterio start when he was like 14 or 13 or some shit? That's what.
Man.
Get physical. But,
look, the one positive that I'll take out of Braun coming back is kind of what we were talking about earlier on. That Roman needs challengers, and he needs just people that he can beat. And this is a good person for him to.
That's the only benefit of re-signing him. Yeah, just squash him.
Braun, Triple H talked about Braun in the interview, and he makes some good points. Like, he is, with his size and what he brings to the table, he is like, one of those athletes that you don't really see a lot. You don't get that giant all the time. And I still think that Braun Strowman in 2017 was the best era of Strowman that we had seen, with him flipping the cars and tipping the ambulances over and
trying to kill
beating up Roman Reigns. That was, if we get that Braun Strowman, and that makes me excited for a Roman Reigns Braun Strowman feud.
Yeah.
Because legit, just run back what you did in 2017, and I'll be fine with it. You need a little bit of chaos. You need Braun Strowman flipping over cars and, saying that he's not finished with Roman yet. I'll be super cool if they just go in that route. But, of course, you have the different opinions of, Braun. This is also something I wanted to ask. And this isn't me being like, oh, I know everything. I'm legit asking, what did Braun do that everyone just doesn't like him? Is it just because he's a shit wrestler, or is it I know he said
he's been running his mouth
about the independent wrestlers during the pandemic. I know that.
There was
the
that.
control your narrative stuff, but has he done anything else?
There's been political stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
On the politics side, he's not. People don't favor his views on politics.
He could start a stable called QAnon.
All right. I see that. Then.
That's why a lot of people are
black helicopters. Black helicopters. The frogs. They did it. Sandy Hook.
Ambulance is over in the black helicopter.
Sandy Hook was fake.
Oh jeez! Oh my god!
We here at the Rawdown do not support Alex Jones and his opinion.
No, we don't. We don't. But
God,
yeah,
damn.
no.
We don't support Alex Bone and his views.
I don't support Alex Bone.
Marco, quick before we get canceled, what are your thoughts on Braun Strowman?
You actually took the words out of my mouth. I don't hate it. I think they definitely do need some more big men there, more bodies for Roman Reigns to pile up on his way to pretty much legendary status. I mean, I'm thinking I don't know why this pops in my head. I'm not sure if they're gonna do it, but I think they want to kind of erase Hulk Hogan's reign, his title reign, numbers wise.
Is he next in line? I remember seeing that.
I think Pedro Morales is next.
Pedro Morales. That's not too far.
Oh,
behind,
Hogan's
though.
second. Yeah.
No, he's third, I think. Yeah, he's third behind. Yeah, behind Backlund.
Oh, it's Backlund. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Bruno, Backlund, Hogan, Pedro.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get him into that status and kind of
which
it would take a while.
There, no.
If you go to WrestleMania 40, you'll be close. You'll be close.
Mm-hmm.
So
he would hit 1,000 days in
I don't know how many days. 40. How many days was Hogan? Do you know?
For single title reigns.
Yeah,
I don't think 1,300 something.
I don't think he'll reach any of those guys, surpass any of them.
No.
Maybe number 4 on that list, but he could do Pedro. He'll definitely be number 5.
Yeah, no, they definitely. Yeah, they definitely want him in that status.
Yeah.
Of and trying to put some prestige on that Universal title because
he's added a lot of prestige to the title.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Champion alone.
Make it relevant.
Okay. Never mind. No, that was just combined. Hold on. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
Well, the Universal undisputed shit kind of complicates things. Is it just world championship reigns that we're talking about? Consistent, be it world heavyweight, WWE, Universal. Is it all counted together? Yeah. That's probably the way that they're going on this. Which I guess whatever, but I don't know. He'll definitely be in that.
He would have to hold it another 2 more years, from today.
Damn. Ooh.
So, Hogan was 1474.
Yeah, damn.
Roman's at 737 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay. He definitely won't surpass Hogan. He'll get maybe number 4, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you're arguing. It's the wipe on history. As much as I would love for it to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that there was a whenever all that stuff came out years with Hogan, there was a meme of it was just it was the Hogan slamming Andre, but it was just Andre in the air.
Yeah.
I love that.
They erased him from history.
He's just flipping around for no reason.
And here's Andre the Giant doing his best handstand for some reason. Andre breakdancing. Yeah, we don't have to spend too much time on Braun because I really want to get into this next topic.
Yeah, let's get it.
It's going to be fun. But Braun, good to have you back. Just don't ruin the tag team division again, please.
Keep your views to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Control your narrative, bro.
Control that narrative.
Don't be like Bone Strowman.
Bone Strowman.
Bone Strowman. Have you used that one yet?
I have not. I actually planning on using it tonight, but somebody said I can't do it anymore.
Well, you could say the names. How about that? You could say the names, but we won't put it in the graphic.
I'm the podcaster among men. Bone Strowman.
Podcaster among men. I'm going to flip the podcast over like it's a semi-truck.
All right. Enough Braun Strowman impressions for the night. Let's get into our final topic on the evening, or our final segment, rather. It's going to be a little bit different than we normally do it. Let's get to Who Won the Week.
Who won the week?
So a little different than we normally do it. We usually go Raw versus SmackDown. But I feel like SmackDown has happened years ago.
Yeah.
And we are fresh off the heels of one of the first times ever. I think this is the first time ever that WWE and AEW had the same pay-per-view in the same weekend. So we kind of started off by thinking about, all right, why don't we talk about All Out versus Clash at the Castle? That's our main kind of discussion point here. But it also kind of diverted into some other topics that need to be addressed that also pertain to WWE in a way. Because, Marco, I asked J-Bone this, but do you still do improv?
Do I still do improv?
Do you still do improv?
I don't know. I don't.
Well, when you did improv, who did you do it with?
I don't get what I don't get what you're saying.
Did you do your improv with Scott Colton?
Because if you did, you don't have any journalistic integrity.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did do my. That's right. Now, if I recall, I did do my. I did do improv with Scott.
Wow.
So that's because.
Who hired this guy?
You see, who hired him? Because that's why we have some dumb-headed, fucking dumb fucks called EVPs who hire someone like
I'm calling out the two bad Chads right now. A bunch of dumb-headed fucks. Dumb-headed fucks.
Two bad Chads who couldn't even run a target. Who couldn't even manage a target. Oh my god.
They get a guy like
Penguins.
Hawk. They bring a guy like Hawk in. That's legit. It's like a parallel. It's a
what did I
do
to deserve an empty-headed, dumb-headed fuck like Hawk to sit here with no mic connected and bury the entire tavern? What did I do?
Anthony's going to go in, pull his hair, and bite Hawk.
But just get Larry out of the way, and then I'll do it. Let me start throwing chairs around. All right. CM. So I don't even know where to begin with this. Right.
Who won the week?
Let's talk about All Out versus. Let's answer the question, right? All Out versus Clash of the Castle. Which did you prefer more?
So if I'm, no matter what, however where you go, I mean, with the CM Punk stuff, without it, I'm gonna go Clash at the Castle. I know I'm on the WWE show, whatever. Yeah.
Well, this is like based on the show itself, in-ring action, overall show. You're going Clash.
Yeah, I'm going Clash. A couple of reasons why. I mean, it was just like hard hitting. I thought it was fun to kind of do that in the afternoon. It just didn't drag on. I was just like, oh my god, and the way it was built, like it was fun. With the opening match, you had, and I'm talking about All Out with the devil and all that. But then it just made me like, I was like, dude, just get to the main event. So it felt like it dragged on, and you just had, the story was built better with Clash. It wasn't great. I mean, it still had its holes, but it was better. And I mean, first of all, you had women's matches that meant something. You had good storytelling.
Breaking news: Turnbuckle Tavern member suspended.
We'll now have the interim RAWDOWN champion.
Interim RAWDOWN host.
You were quick on that. I don't even know how I didn't think of that.
There's going to be a tournament.
We're gonna have a tournament.
We're going to have a tournament, and it's going to be.
Wait, hold on.
The Tavern Tournament of Champions.
It's only going to include Ace and Tom, and that's it. Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, but I just enjoyed Clash more. It was just really entertaining. Yeah, you had the match of the weekend with, like we talked about, with Sheamus and some Gunther.
Gunther.
So I'm gonna go Clash.
Yeah.
Marco.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Clash as well.
God, we're a bunch of WWE shills.
Well, it's not even that. Like, because it was a better paced show. It was shorter, for one. It was shorter than All Out. There was, and not because I predicted well enough so I could win this championship, this prestigious championship. It was just
shut up.
I think I think just the matches, like the results of the matches too, were a lot better. I know, like, there was a lot of stuff with, like we talked about, with the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed was supposed to win, and the interim women's championship that match was, that felt like it was kind of like rushed, and it was like no pacing to it. Bryan Danielson losing to Jericho, like, and then the run back of CM Punk and Moxley after CM Punk got
beating
squashed.
Stark so easily.
It was. It just, if it was, wrestling aside, obviously you look to AEW for your wrestling, essentially, like, to see your professional wrestling matches. But now, with Triple H in charge,
I was gonna say, do you?
I mean,
do you?
Judging off of that Gunther and Sheamus match, I mean, if they're gonna put shit on like that, I'd be a little bit worried if I was AEW on that side. But yeah, I mean, I think it was just wrong place, wrong time too. I mean, and there was a lot of stuff muddied in the pay per view, and CM Punk just pretty much just burying everybody. And
the biggest thing,
the whole scrum was awful too as well. Let's not even, like,
we'll get to the scrum. That's a whole nother topic.
The scrum was bad. Like, it was just a lot of burying. Tony Storm burying Thunder Rosa.
Well, hang on.
A little bit.
No.
All right, wait. I want to get into the scrum. I'll just say real quick, I also am picking Clash. I know, WWE, but there's no way that you could pick All Out over Clash of the Castle in my eyes. Like, this was, it felt like an NXT takeover show that each segment got time, and not like the match is getting time, but I was like keeping track, and it was a 3-hour show. Every match except for the main event got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Between the hype videos, the entrances, the match itself, and the celebration. Of course, the main event got more, but everything else got 30 minutes. So it felt like, it was a good pace to it. It wasn't, all these matches happening, quick matches, 14. Well, how many was it with the buy-in? It was like 15 matches. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was like,
Like, I'm sorry, but I went through that card and I literally looked at it and I said, there is 6 matches that you needed to have on this card.
Right.
Everything else you did not need to have on this card. They could have had a 6-match card, and it probably would have been better than Clash of the Castle. But the fact that you had Jade beating Athena in 4 minutes, Powerhouse Hobbs beating Ricky Starks, fucking the whole they're trying to save the Christian and Luchasaurus angle. It's just, I'm at the point where
what the biggest thing? The biggest thing for me.
Yeah, Christian got injured. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I saw.
So that's kind of like, that kind of throws that whole storyline out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you have Luchasaurus in there. I don't know, whatever.
Stupid. Just keep
it's
Luchasaurus
stupid.
and Jungle Boy together in that case.
Just
Why do we have
flip-flop.
to keep them?
Yeah.
It's
So
dumb. Stupid.
okay. So my biggest takeaway from this weekend, what was the biggest news story this year?
Vince McMahon
Vince.
retiring.
Okay. How many times you heard? How many times did you hear about Vince McMahon's name this weekend, or this week, or last 2 weeks?
None.
A few? No, you've heard it a few.
This week?
As far as with the scandal.
With the scandal.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I haven't. No.
Well, I mean, because I was
He
going to say
celebrated his
Triple H
birthday. That was
mentioned
about
him.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to. Yeah, Triple H mentioned him. CM Punk mentioned him when he said the two people to make most money off.
Right. But
no scandal. You're right.
But as far as like the biggest, story that happened in this year and in wrestling history, and you didn't even hear anything. Not even people saying, "Oh man, if Vince would have booked it, would have been there. He would have booked it this way." No,
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like in a negative limelight, like if Vince was there, this would have happened. What is Paul doing? Jeez,
Yeah.
that to me that's the biggest takeaway, honestly. Now a lot of that is because of CM Punk and him, trying to throw a fucking nuclear bomb down a
yeah. Can we
hallway.
just like? I want to take a moment. Can we get like just everyone's thoughts on the CM Punk promo? Because like we've been texting about it in the group chat, but like I feel like we haven't got the chance to like give our thoughts on it. Just like what are you thinking?
Because it's real. Obviously, it's real. It's not WWE related. But if you want to make it WWE related, you can. Because there was a lot of not even that. It was a lot of the stuff that happened in WWE behind the scenes is basically happening now in front of your eyes. Obviously, social media is a lot more powerful than it was back when CM Punk was in WWE. But I mean, he was doing the same thing. It just wasn't as in the forefront and as vocal. I mean, so a lot of WWE fans aren't really surprised by it. I mean, it's surprising. I mean, the way he just buried the shit out of everybody. But if you've seen his promos in the ring, he's always telling the truth. I don't think he's ever working at all. First and foremost, with CM Punk, I think everything he says, he actually believes. I don't think there's any work in that dude at all. I think everything's a shoot with him. Personally,
I mean, I was early on. Of course, I was on the whole work train.
Not even that. Yeah, not even the scrum. I'm talking about like just him in general. He's not a work. He's a shoot. Yeah. He fucking shoots all the time. Like, go back and watch all his promos. He like, they obviously they hark back to like Eddie Kingston, his promo against CM Punk when he kind of pointed out pretty much everything that everyone's seen this past week. They hark back to John Cena promo and the Triple H promo, and it's all he's the same person. He doesn't change at all.
Right.
That's why
I normally don't give Hawk his flowers, but like when I do, he said something that struck a nerve with me. He mentioned that people call the Pipe Bomb promo one of the greatest promos of all time. After this weekend, like it could change your opinion on the words that he talked about in that specific promo, because like they were talking about it on the wrap up too, and I watched a little bit of the debate before it gets posted on Monday, and I don't want to give away what they were talking about, but like one of the main things was like the Pipe Bomb was a promo that was directed towards the company that everyone hated.
Yep.
But now you're at a stage where like this is Punk talking about a company that everyone loves, and I thought that was a really great point. Definitely check out that debate when it happens.
At the time, I'm not sure if everyone hated WWE at that time. Even if you go back and watch that promo,
WWE's been hated.
It's been hated for a hot minute.
Not as much as it is now.
Right.
I guess, yeah.
I mean,
but that had a lot to do with the pandemic and the releasings and Nick Khan and all of that, which now you're starting to see a different outlook on.
Well, I mean, like back then, like what were they doing bad?
I mean, they were going PG at that point. I can't really say for certain because I started watching wrestling at that time, but
maybe pushing Cena too much.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Sure,
that's literally it.
It was the start of the corporate.
It became like a corporation.
Yeah. You know, and I don't mean like in the 90s, you know,
I mean,
but like it was just like this steam engine.
It became a business.
Right. You add Cena and you keep going. Keep adding Cena, you keep going. You know, and people were just kind of getting sick of it. We're beginning of it, and they didn't really evolve from that. You know, they didn't really. You know, the whole listening to fans. That's when it stopped. You know, it was around that time.
Yeah.
And CM Punk was supposed to be a part of that, and you know, it was a great match. You know, Cena and Punk, they had a great match, and then a lot of people thought they did that way too soon, and then it just blah 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 blah. And I'm in that camp, but as far as like what my thoughts of what happened, I don't necessarily have a problem with what he said, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, he was speaking his mind. Like, he's got every right to do it. The reason, and this is one thing I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about. The reason why he started on his rant is because he saw that journalist Nick Hausman. Nick Hausman covered painstakingly and for no reason covered the CM Punk Colt Cabana versus WWE lawsuit and the CM Punk and Colt Cabana lawsuit. Like, was there like every day, like as a court reporter. Like, dude, as a wrestling fan, nobody gives a shit. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he was just, and Punk he's a very private guy, and he was always asked questions from this dude. This guy's a Chicago guy. He knows who he was. Now, I think Punk in the back of his mind said, okay, like probably they're going to ask me about it. And then as soon as he saw Nick Hausman's face, he just got triggered. I'm not saying that's right at all. Don't get me mistaken. But that's to me what I'm looking at. That's what happened. And then I could be
wrong, but didn't they call Nick Hausman to give the first question, and then Punk was like, "Well, let me ask you a question."
Yeah. No, I think it's something that is.
Which I think it's even more ironic that he got the first question.
That's how it started. The whole improv thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's who he was directed to. Because Hausman did improv with Colt Cabana, but I mean, and I think a lot of the stuff he wrote was more in favor towards Colt Cabana, and which is where he was. That's where I think CM Punk was like, he thought maybe they were friends or somewhat, because he probably was very favorable towards Colt, right? And that's where it started. And then I think it just went into a word vomit situation, which whether or not it's a truth or not, we probably will never know as far as if the EVPs played a role in it, if Hangman went into business for himself for sure, because let's face it, and that's kind of one thing I've kind of been a little bit worried about is there's been in wrestling in general, there's been a lot of work shoot promos going on a lot, and it's like when is that run promo when you're gonna the Sunny Days promo, when is that gonna happen? And now apparently we got the Hangman is like the new Sunny Days, right? I'm defending AEW from you. I'm defending AEW from you. That was the big line from that. So hang on one second. So I don't have a problem necessarily with really what he said because he was vocalizing what was on his mind. We don't know what was true, what was not.
Yep.
I have a huge problem though of him getting physical. That's where that's really where he fucked up. I don't care if they came and super kicked the door open, did their pose, and then said, "We got to talk to you."
The streamers. Brandon's got the camera.
Yeah, Brandon's got the camera. Shut up, Landon.
Spray.
Right.
He didn't even change out of his zebra jumpsuit or anything.
It's all the gear on with the tassels and shit.
Yeah. You got Justin Roberts going, "Man from North Carolina." No, I don't think he necessarily Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think they wanted to have a conversation, and they were like, "Look, let's fix this thing," because what you got, what you just said was not correct, and maybe in their eyes, but Punk apparently he, drew first blood, and that's, dude, it's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. So it's just not, you can't do that, and then you got Ace Steel involved and. I guess he was more protective of his wife and yada yada yada. But come on, like you cannot act like that in a public situation or a professional situation. This, as far as the scrum stuff, the stuff he said, I don't really have a problem with it.
I'm gonna say this. I think he messed up just the whole way through. Not even with the fight. Like you said, again, not a problem with the stuff he said. But the time and place he said it. Mm-hmm. So he shouldn't have said it.
Right.
All those thoughts he had should have been in the back with Tony Khan and with the EVPs.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Not on camera yelling about the EVPs who are there, so you can talk to them. It's not like they're not there. They're there in the back. Like, all that stuff could have been, like, he could have totally avoided all that stuff. By his whole thing is, if people have a problem, they say you should say it to my face. Well, he's not doing that in return. He's not using his own words. He's not going to them and saying stuff to their face. He's picking, he's going. The other thing too is he talks about people going in for themselves. He does that all the time. He did that at that scrum. Mm-hmm. He did that at the WWE. He did that. He does that everywhere.
All parties involved were wrong. I don't think there's a side you can really pick. I know people are going to go EVP. Oh, the elite did. They were right because they were playing the politics game as well too.
Yeah. I was saying on the wrap up yesterday in the comments, if you support like one party over the other,
you're fucked in the head.
No, it's not.
You're
it's
a fucking
not
idiot.
Yeah, it's basically saying like it's at first and foremost, Tony Khan's trying to run a business, right? How does that make Tony Khan look? He's sitting next to this guy that he gave a lot of money
Doesn't
to.
make look good. Yeah.
And he's letting this guy just say the stuff about his employees. Not even their employees. They have the title executive vice president.
Right.
They're not the Young Bucks.
Yeah. They're not even contracted. They're not contracted talent. They're employees of All Elite Wrestling.
They're employees of All Elite Wrestling.
That's different. That's different.
Well, you have to look at it from both ends. Like, you look at it from the Young Bucks side, and if the reports are true that they leaked they leaked information about the whole Colt Cabana thing.
Here's how
that's what we're going off of right now. And if that's the case, then that's fucking bad. Like, you have your EVPs leaking information to the reporters. Yeah, so in that case, they're in the wrong. But then, like, let me give my opinion on Punk real quick. What he did, both what he said and how he said it, I cannot support whatsoever. What he said, he buried the entire company, and it's not just him saying, the dumb fucks or the empty-headed fucks who can't manage a target or whatever. It's also the fact of, he's taking everything that has been built, right? In 2018, when the Young Bucks and everyone wanted CM Punk to come in, and he originally declined that offer. And then eventually you start to see, guys like Mox and Jericho and the Young Bucks and Kenny build this thing from the ground up. And now Punk comes in 2021 after it's already this huge successful thing. And then, you start to hear, and of course, this is all hearsay, so everything I'm saying, it could be wrong. But, then you start to hear, Punk's in Tony Khan's ear, and he's telling him, the Young Bucks don't know what they're doing. And, he starts trying to divide the locker room. Everything that and then he has the balls and the nerve to get up on the table and start talking about how, these guys are dumb and everything. Why couldn't you have said it to their face?
That's what I said.
I like that. This makes me think that he has only been talking to Tony. If he's at the point where he has to say it in front of a room full of reporters, I don't think he said it to the Young Bucks yet. And just one more point, how when he said it and how he said it. This was after what was your most important pay-per-view in your history. Because
that's another problem I have
obviously
with it.
AEW's been on a little bit of a downslide as of late. The booking's been bad. The ratings haven't been increasing. Rampage is going down the toilet. And Warner Media is having their issues looming like this dark cloud that they're starting to cut a lot of their programming. So they really needed to be on their ball. MJF comes back. Samoa Joe comes back. You had a great main event. You crown a new interim women's champion. You crown new trios champions. It was a good pay-per-view, of course, with all the bullshit in between.
Right.
And then what happens? CM Punk comes out, sits on a table, and buries the entire company after what they just put on, undermining MJF's return, doing all of this. Ridiculous. If I'm Tony Khan, I get rid of everyone. And I know that's like crazy to say, but this is more from a booking standpoint because I'm just tired of seeing the Elite and Punk being involved in stories. It just doesn't work for me.
What I would do is fire Punk and strip the Elite of the EVP title. Done.
Yeah.
Keep him as talent.
And I would start booking stories of the Elite, not with the Elite. Start making things creative. Do Kenny versus someone else, do Paige versus someone else, and not doing the same shit over and over.
They may not be happy with that. They may leave, but
good.
Tough
then
shit.
Go to WWE.
Yeah.
Fucking who cares at this point?
Right.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I feel like they think they're like the clique of the 90s, like you know, Razor, all those guys. And yes, I mean, talent-wise, you could probably go with that. But like, if they're thinking that way, if that's their mentality, like, hey, we're like the clique of we're like the modern day clique. It's like back then, not to say there wasn't any talented people in the WWF at the time, but they were the most talented people in the WWF.
That was probably it. That was about it.
If they're in Vince McMahon's ear, they're going, put us in this, put us in a tag team match, two dudes with attitudes against, the Kid and Razor. Like, he's gonna bite on that because right now there ain't shit going on in WWF, but like fucking I don't know, gimmicks run amok essentially, and they're like the most like outgoing, the most talented guys that he has. Besides like Bret Hart and all that stuff, but like now you have way too much talent. Like there's way too many talented people. Probably more talented than the Bucks and Kenny Omega in that company. I'll go out and say it. I'm not gonna put them on a pedestal. I mean, anyone else can.
You're right.
I could probably count like on my hand 5 people that are, equal to or better than the Elite in that company. So they don't have that like we're the most talented people power in this in this company. There's other talents that can surpass and that they need to help build. And you can't bring a guy like CM Punk in because he's not going to build. He's all for himself. I don't get how people do not see that at all. Like he's only for himself. That what he did at the Scrum was all for himself to make himself look good. The promos that he cuts, it's always to make himself look good. I dare anyone to go back and watch his promos in the WWE and watch his promos, and they're literally the same thing. It's time for change. I'm here to make change. I'm here to do this. But it's literally just for him.
Yeah, it goes back to that Triple H interview. Like, let me tell you something. Every time that you say that there's got to be change, you only want your face as a part of the change.
Is that wrong?
Or was that Cena that said it? I think Cena.
No, it was Triple H. They both said it, but Triple H said it did more detail. He's like, you and I have, you and I are alike. He's like, the only difference is, he's like, I have the guts to tell somebody if I'm going to step on him, I'm going to kick him in the nuts. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get to the top. And you can see CM Punk doesn't do that. He doesn't go to your face and tell you that shit. He says it to a camera when you're sitting in the back, shocked as hell, like that he had these thoughts in his head. Like that's like, I don't get how people can take that, like what Triple H said, and not like relate it to now. That's literally what he did. Like he didn't tell them he was going to bury them to their face. He buried them behind their backs.
Question, and just a little fun question because I really don't know what happens after this. If Punk gets fired, what happens with him? Is he done with wrestling?
Goes right.
Hey,
He goes right. Comic books.
It goes
comic
right in
books,
those
he's gonna-
comic books.
Triple H
He
is not
goes
gonna
working
take,
at the what does AJ Lee work at now? The Women of Wrestling.
Yeah.
Maybe he has a spot there that he'll work at.
No one's gonna want him near any one of their businesses. If you want to run a business,
Hunter's not hiring him back.
hell no. And if he does, he's fucking
and he
catering.
won't.
He's working catering. He's fucking
Yeah.
serving food.
Yeah.
It's bad, dude. I think
It's a
like
bad situation.
I feel like I said, I feel bad. I just feel bad for Tony Khan. Like for,
I don't because Tony let it happen.
No,
and then
I
he
know
needs
that.
he needs to fucking grow some balls. And
he
I
needs
do
to
have
learn, too.
I do have a problem with what he said at the end of the scrum too. I think he's like how he was like, I'm not like Jim Crockett Promotions. I got billions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, like if you book a fucking show correctly, then maybe you won't have to worry about if WWE's booking a show the same weekend as you or booking 2 shows. You know, like book right
And it
do
wasn't
better.
Even it was a Saturday. Clash of the Castle was in a completely different country.
He's
on a
talking about
Saturday.
he's talking about Worlds Collide, how they book Worlds Collide.
He's the
but-
guy that's fucking praising AEW for beating NXT in the first place. Why is he all of a sudden worried about Worlds Collide?
And if you're worried,
that's all out.
if you're worried about being Jim Crockett Promotions 2.0, Vince booked what was it the Royal Rumble at the same time of Clash of the Champions or something along those lines.
Yeah.
He would do it at the exact
do it on
same time. And guess what? Jim Crockett Promotions would do the same thing. They did that with Clash of the Champions in WrestleMania 4. So, you know, they're not the times were not identical. Like Triple H or whoever whose decision was, they gave him respect to say, all right, we're going to put this at 4:00.
Yeah.
And maybe because they knew it would get beat too, but like we're not going to put this at 7. We're not going to go up head to head of All Out. We're going to put this at 4:00, and the show ended at what 6:30 or something, like right before All Out.
Right as the
main card
hour started.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it was
0 hour.
good.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think they were in match 27 when NXT stopped.
Dude, I almost picked freaking Ricochet and Carmelo Hayes as my match of the week because that match was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
No, nothing was beating Gunther, baby.
No, I know, but yeah, it was up there. It was pretty good.
Imperium.
But yeah,
But yeah, I mean, there's so much that we
Tony.
could break down on this topic.
not you, Tony. Other Tony. TK, just start over, dude.
Tony.
Just fucking clean house.
Tony.
Tony, clean house and just start from scratch, man. That's all you gotta do. You know, he knows what to do. He just doesn't want to do it. He knows
Tony-
what he has to do.
Tony needs some bony.
Yeah.
Tony needs bony.
Tony Khan needs to just quit and work for Triple H, dude. That's what you
Yeah.
gotta do.
Yeah,
Become the
he's
other
a-
Khan.
He's a great guy to work for.
Yeah. Ask the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Speaking of them, they are a dumpster fire as well too.
Yeah.
well,
I
you
mean,
can turn into
kinda
long balls
correlation.
for that.
kind of correlate.
We need a
Runs
we need a
concurrent.
Tony song as our Raw Down theme song.
Tony.
Lay your head on my pillow
Oh my god! All right.
and just relax. All right. Look, I think we agreed. Clash beat All Out, and CM Punk
Beat
is in
everything.
yeah, he beat everything. Some deep shit.
What a great time to be a podcaster.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks-
what a great
thanks-
time to be a wrestling
Thanks,
fan.
Phil. Thanks,
Yeah,
Phil Brooks, for
just
all
giving
the,
us more content.
Yeah, dude. Please come back
Dude.
soon.
Man, this podcast was sponsored by Mindy's Bakery, by the way.
Yes.
You can
And whatever those seltzer
Tavern.
drinks.
yeah, whatever
Those
those
can't
lime
taste
seltzers.
good. Those
We're
can't
fucking
taste
old. We're
good.
fucking tired.
Seltzer,
we're
a
fucking
flavored
hurt.
seltzer is okay. It's just like it feels like it's watered down, like Sprite.
Ugh,
It's not great, but it's,
gross.
it's fine.
fucking
If
old,
you have like
fucking tired.
if you're like at the end of like the Sprite bottle and you just want to
It's-
fill it up a little bit with some water,
It's an old tired Sprite.
it's a one. I'm old and I'm tired and I'm working with fucking
I'm old,
children
I'm old,
and
I'm
I'm
fucking
a
tired, I'm
Sprite
fucking hurt.
bottle
And I fucking work with children.
and I'm eating my Mindy's. All right,
Who are the two people? Oh, no, never mind.
sorry.
That's okay. It's time to
Sorry,
go. So
It's time to get out of
Yeah.
here, folks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in to
This is
yet
fun.
another edition of the Raw Down. Let's do some quick plugs. J-Bone, what do you have going on this week?
All right, coming down the aisle real quick. Other coming down the aisle pod.com where you can subscribe to the show. This week I've got your co-host of Before Our Time, Nick fucking Storm. We'll go back and watch Macho and Hogan. I know y'all did that a couple weeks ago. So, but me and
that's
him,
that's
we
number
watch
one
it.
on his list right now. His favorite Mania match so far.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then, of course, don't forget to check out the Long Balls with me and Hawk. We did our week 1 preview this week. You can go back and check that out. And then, of course, next week will be the first real full show where we'll break down the games and we'll preview week 2.
Dude, I'm excited for that show. I saw your the episode you did the other day, and I think you really started getting into it with them. So if you already didn't start last episode, surely.
Oh, man.
Marco, tell me what's going on with Chick Foley Show.
ChickFoleyShow.com, obviously. Sign up to the Facebook group. Chick Foley on IG. Follow Sheena there. She's posting all the new figures that are pretty much coming out from ringside. Obviously, use the code Chick Foley. Also, obviously on the Twitter machine, you can follow me there on the Chick Foley Show. We have a new show out this week. We pretty much recap everything that happened over the weekend. We get into a little bit of the CM Punk stuff. Obviously, there's a lot more stuff that happened after the show. But if you want to go back and listen, definitely give our thoughts on everything, on Worlds Collide as well. I know we kind of skipped it on this one, so you can listen to the Chick Foley Show and hear our thoughts on Worlds Collide, which is pretty awesome. Other than that, trying to gear up for another episode of Open Mic soon. Fielding another guest. We'll see who that is. Got to take a week off because, had this week, and then I got to prioritize, pal.
You're busy.
Can't run my vocal cords amok. But yeah, so look out for a new episode of Open Mic soon, and yeah, that's it.
Cool. And you can follow me at Indie Epicenter on Instagram and Twitter. We have Invictus Pro Wrestling's next show is Magnitude with a 2 as the T,
Nice.
because it's our 2nd year anniversary, and I will absolutely be there. If you are in the New York, New Jersey area, tickets are still available. I highly, highly recommend getting a ticket to see the show or watching it on IWTV. Not to be a shillbilly, but like Speedball Mike Bailey, Darius Carter, fucking Ken Broadway, Edith Surreal, Milk Chocolate. This is going to be a fantastic show. You cannot miss it. And I've got some plans for some other stuff on the way. Of course, Before Our Time. You can check us out on Flashback Fridays. And some other plans are brewing. Just stick around for it. All right, but ladies and gentlemen, it's time to plug the tavern just a tad. Make sure that you are supporting the Turnbuckletavern.com. That is the #1 spot to go. The hub, if you will. Listen to the podcast, Apple, Spotify. Watch our videos on YouTube and Twitch. Follow us on social media. We are all over the place. Our TikTok is growing. Instagram numbers are through the roof. We have Twitter and Facebook that always needs some love. And join our Discord with some like-minded individuals that have some great opinions on wrestling. I'm sure you will be seeing some more CM Punk chat in that Discord very, very soon. And then you can buy our merch at prowrestlingtees.com/tavern. Each of your tavern inmates have their own shirt, and they all look great. All the designs are fantastic. You should get a Hollywood Tony shirt.
Nah, unless you run out of toilet paper.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
if you need to use a bib or something, it's a black shirt, so the stain won't show.
Damn.
But yeah, Boney Shivani, MVP Marco. I feel like we haven't called you Boney Shivani in so long. That's
I know, right?
I
That
know.
was a
That's
good
old
one.
school. It's old school.
Well, Hollywood Tony's old school too. Anyways, you can also go to Teespring over at theturnbuckletavern.com for some Raw Down logos on some shirts. Mr. Backlash. We haven't had a Raw Down shirt in a while. We have to come up with a new one, a new design. That'll be in the works. We'll be in touch with good old Chad on that one. And then finally, call the tavern. 304-404-2004 is the number to call to get your voice heard on the flagship show. Call the tavern, leave us a voicemail, get your message in our ears. Talk about the Raw Down. We want to know what you think about this show. That's 304-404-2004. Talk about the Muggles at Rawdown. That's
Good Lord.
304-404-2004. Well, we have a new Rawdown champion. We have a crazy world of wrestling to discuss on another episode. This was a fun episode. We had a lot of topics.
Yeah.
Went 2 hours on this one. Look at that.
We'll be back next Thursday. Make sure you catch us.
We'll be back next Thursday. Make sure new time. We're staying here and we're staying, planting our flag. Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard
Trying to
Time.
hold my title. All right, forget it.
Get your WWE fix. But until then,
Holding my title.
as always, take care and spike that hair.
What is this, a title for ants?
It's like it's a bow title. Get it? Bow title.
Wait, what did hold on. I wanted to end the
Sorry, I thought it threw us off.
No, I actually wanted to find a
I
certain
like
way
this.
to
It's a little
to end
bow
this,
title.
keep talking about the bow title. I'm trying to find
Okay,
something.
sir.
It's like it looks like it's something that Vince would make Michael Cole wear.
It looks like Adam Cole's belt.
Oh,
He's so
but
tiny. And he's a mid-carder.
he's so tiny. He's so tiny.
Why can't I find this one quote? God damn it.
Well, anyways,
we'll
be
I was
back.
I was trying to end the stream with the Punk. However, he ended the.
Fucking.
What did he say? He was
time.
like, "No, please make sure that you get your news from correct sources or whatever." I wanted to end the show like that, but I couldn't find it. All right, take care. Spike your hair. Woo woo woo.
Okay.
You know it.